Hey everybody, Jennifer here with the Sewing Report. Welcome to another live show. I'm here and I'm trying to help you discover your love of sewing. So that's what we do every week. We have a live show every Sunday at 3 p.m. And the topic of this week's show is going to be an update about the project I started at the beginning of the year to stop shopping at stores for clothes and to make my own. So anyways, I see we got a couple people here and I apologize. I had to start the stream over again because I think I started the first one as private. I know I'm still trying to get the hang of this whole thing, so please bear with me. Anyways, I'm Jennifer Moore, and welcome. So anyways, let me know if you're here. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm going to pop the chat up here, and then soon I'm going to pop the chat up in the box here so you can see it. Anyways, I'm Jennifer Moore, and every week we do videos, we do live shows, so I try to have some fun with this, and yeah, so thank you so much for being here. And yes, if you've noticed, my hair is gone. It's just gone. So this is the new hair look. Over on our other channel, More Approved, we posted a haircut video earlier in the week. And if you've watched it, thank you very much. If not, definitely check it out. It is, I will say, an interesting video. My husband does cut my hair. And it actually saves me a lot of money and time and hassle because now I don't have to go to the, like, I hate doing stuff that you have to make an appointment for, like doctor's visits or like hair appointments. I've gotten my nails done once in my life. Literally just once in my life I've gotten my nails done. And it was because I was a bridesmaid in a wedding, and as a bridal party we all went to get our nails done. So overall I'm kind of a low maintenance person as far as that stuff sort of goes. I just don't like doing anything that requires me to book an appointment, wait, sit, and then pay. And they always would charge me. My hair is really thick and I have a lot of hair. So I always get charged a lot of money for haircuts, even like basic haircuts. Thank you guys so much. We've got Marie, we've got Alice, JB. So anyways, we've got some ladies in the house. Occasionally we've had some dudes in here as well. So maybe there'll be some guys joining us too. I don't know. But anyways, thank you so much. And but yeah, if you haven't seen the haircut video, I would recommend it. James did a great job, and I was very happy with it. He does a really nice job, and all he did, he's definitely not like a licensed or trained hairstylist or cosmetologist in any way. He just watched literally some YouTube videos and then went for it. But he's pretty good at that sort of thing, at just doing things. So I felt like it was fine, and I have a lot of hair, so it grows back, it'll be fine. So I thought this is the shortest I've gone in probably a decade. It feels a lot lighter, and I had to use a different curling iron because I've been using like a curling iron with a 1.5-inch barrel, and that was like too big for my hair now, so I used a 1-inch curling iron, and I actually like the way the curls turned out. I don't know, I like it. My hair feels a lot lighter, and like every time he cuts my hair, which I only get a haircut like once every year maybe. Yeah, I don't like doing that sort of stuff. I would get charged well over $100 for a haircut. So now we are not spending that money, and I can spend it on other stuff. Anyways, sorry for the tangent, but let me pop up the chat so we can see all of your lovely comments. Oh wait, hopefully that is gonna work. I might need to change the URL actually. We will see. Yeah, so doing this is a lot of fun, although sometimes you run into some fun technical issues. So yeah, that's definitely different. Okay, so now, alright, now you should be seeing the chats. Because every time, I've noticed the URL for the chat window changes quite often, so I have to change it every show. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me. And in the beginning of the year, I had announced that I was going to be making my own clothes. I've been sewing for about 4 years, and I started doing clothes about 2 years ago. There's definitely a bit of a learning curve for me, but I really enjoy the process. I just love learning about making clothing and any sort of new sewing technique. I just love to learn about it. And that's what I like about sewing, is probably one of the most cool things about it is that no matter how good you get or no matter how much stuff you know about sewing, there's always something else to know. So your education process really never ends, which I think is one of the things that intrigues me the most about sewing, and that's why I like it so much. So I'm pretty jazzed about that, and I've learned a lot. There's still a few things that there's still a few things that I haven't tackled, like really doing buttons. So I'm gonna try to work on that. And there's some other techniques, like I need to look up how to do like a chain, like, those like thread chains to like attach the linings to the main fabrics of skirts and stuff. So there's things like that that I really want to learn. But I'm really enjoying this whole process, and I've stuck to my guns, and I have not bought any clothing. So I'm doing what I set out to do, and it's not as hard as I thought it would be. I mean, I didn't really shop that much before I started this whole thing. I didn't really shop a whole lot for clothing. Maybe once or twice a year, I would take advantage of one of those Ann Taylor Loft 70% off sale price flash sales and buy a few things. But other than that, even a couple years prior to doing this, I really was not a big clothes shopper. I used to be, but I think the older you get, the less, I don't know, with me, like the less I like shopping. I know that might sound kind of weird, but I definitely don't enjoy. When I was a teenager, I loved shopping, and I would go to the mall all the time and try to I don't know. I just don't like shopping as much. So for me, it's not that big of a deal to not shop. And if you're wondering about things like socks and underwear and like bras, I have not bought any of those either. I don't really wear socks a lot. Normally, I live in the South, so I normally wear like flip-flops or sandals or pumps without socks or anything. I don't know. And then I have enough underwear and bras to last me definitely through the year, and bras are something I still have not yet tackled as far as making, but something I'm definitely interested in. And I did actually pick up some bra cups recently. I got some bra cups from Hobby Lobby and then from Wabox Sewing. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but so I've got some bra cups, so I could at least maybe, because I was originally going to try to make a swimsuit, and now I could even maybe make some dresses and put bra cups in them. Although I will say I'm having trouble finding really good information or good tutorials on inserting bra cups. So if you have any tips for me, feel free to leave them in the comments. Like if you're making a line dress, I'm assuming, although I'm not 100% on this, I'm assuming that you're supposed to put the bra cups on the outside of the lining, like not in between the lining and the main fabric, I'm gonna guess. Because I did see there was a couple like kind of lower quality YouTube videos that showed you how to insert bra cups, but they didn't really explain super well what they were doing, and then both of them, they were working with lined bridal dresses, and they were putting the bra cups in over the, like, so that it was next to your skin. And to me that makes sense, because you don't really want the lining being what touches your boobs. You would prefer to have the bra cups, I'm guessing. I don't know. But anyways, if you have any tips, please, I need help. And JB says, I'd be down to try this challenge, but definitely not skilled enough to make bras, panty, socks. JB, you would be surprised at what you could make, and also what you don't really need. When I started this, again, I'm not just wearing handmade clothing. I'm wearing all of the clothing I already own because I already own it. So it's sort of like a sunk cost. But you would be really surprised at, how much you don't miss buying new clothes or buying new things. I definitely had enough underwear, bras, and socks anyways. So it was something I didn't anticipate buying anytime soon. Although I have made like 5 pairs of underwear, and that's actually helped a lot. So I used some of my scrap knit fabric, and I made a couple pairs of like granny panties. And that's actually going to be a future video. I found a free pattern online. Although the pattern, like, it didn't include the seam allowances. So I added them, but then I found that they were kind of too big. So really, in my opinion, you could make this pattern and just not do seam allowances, and it would still work out okay, in my opinion, because I thought they turned out a little big when I did add the seam allowance. All right, Linda asks, will you continue not buying clothes into next year? Are you looking forward to a big shopping spree at the end of the year? Linda, I'm gonna keep this train going as long as I can. I really don't miss shopping. I like not shopping. It just feels like it's a lot less of a hassle. Because as I explained, I don't like doing things that require a lot of time or effort as far as like going places. So I don't know. I kind of like not buying clothes, and also the other thing I've realized is how few clothes I really need. Even making the things I've made tops, dresses, skirts. Even making the things I've made, I like they were more like extra clothing. It wasn't like essential. Like I wasn't sewing them out of necessity. I was more sewing them because I wanted to make them. So I'm definitely going to keep going with this as long as I can. I mean, I may buy a tank top every once in a while, maybe after this, or pick up like there are things I don't really want to make. Like I don't know, I don't really have an urge to make my own socks. I'm sure I probably could, but it's just not something I really get excited about. So I'd like to make garments that I'm truly jazzed about, and not have to worry about that. But I think I really do want to pare down my closet and get rid of some stuff, or at least try to repurpose it, or because there's a lot of clothes in my closet I've had for 10, 15 years. There's a pair of sweatpants I have from Old Navy. They're like terry cloth sweatpants, and I've had these sweatpants since like 2005, and I still wear them like all of the time. They've got some holes in the waistband, and I think I got them from the clearance section. But weirdly, the clothing that I wear the most often that has lasted the longest, for the most part, has been from Old Navy, which is kind of weird because Old Navy is like the cheapest version of the Gap and Banana Republic. But for some reason, the Old Navy clothing I have has stood the test of time. So I'm kind of impressed by that. I also had a dress from the Gap that I got when I was 16. It was one of those like it was like kind of like kind of like a crepe jersey or something. I don't know. It was probably polyester dress. But I got this dress. It was like just your black V-neck kind of long dress from the Gap. And I wore that dress consistently for about 10 years. I hope I still have it somewhere because it still fits, and it's kind of one of those dresses that you can wear forever. It doesn't go out of style. And I got it for my cousin's bat mitzvah. Now, I'm not Jewish, but I do have Jewish cousins. So I got it for my cousin's bat mitzvah so this dress is like 20. If I still have this dress, the dress is 20 years old. And I still have it, and I could still wear it now. So, I mean, that's the thing. Like, once your body stops growing, if you stay relatively the same frame, you can kind of wear the same clothes forever. We've got a couple more comments. Alice says panties are very easy to make. I like making panties to match my shirts. I do too. Even though no one sees it, you having underwear that kind of matches the rest of your outfit is sort of just cool. I don't know. It just feels nice. JB says, all right, you're going to give it a shot. Definitely at least try it. And I wouldn't be so hard on yourself. Like, if you find you have to buy a bra, you know what? Whatever. You know what? Because no one is, as much as we try to be as eco-friendly and as, sustainably responsible as we can, there's no, like, in this day and age, there's really no way, unless you're like living, in some sort of situation where you really have no connection to the outside world, like maybe you're Amish, there's no way to get around buying mass-produced stuff. Like, I'm sure all of us, even the people that claim that they're like very environmentally friendly and that they only buy sustainably produced goods, I'm sure even those people have like a bazillion things made in China in their house. Like, you just can't get around it now. There's just so much stuff that's not made in this country. I want to do my part, and I want to try to do what I can, but I also realize, you know what, there's probably no way I'm ever going to get to the point where all the stuff I buy is going to be, responsible, there's no way I can be 100% responsible consumer. I can try my best, but it's probably not going to happen. And I realize that, and that's okay. We've got Linda, hey, June Handmade has a free pattern for a tank top, the Durango. I agree about socks, not worth the time. to try and make them. Yeah, and it's just, and the other thing is people always assume that I knit or something. I'm sure you run into this too, that they lump sewing into the same category. I don't know, like, I would just rather be sewing than trying to knit something. I have nothing against knitting, but it's just not something that I'm like just ecstatic about trying right now, like there's just so many other sewing projects I have going on that I want to focus on that. And I am actually, so a couple of weeks ago I expressed some frustration at trying to make Vogue 8772. Last night I did make a little bit of progress. So maybe someday I can finish this shirt, maybe in a couple of years or something, I don't know. And this is a cotton voile from Free Spirit. It's a Heather Bailey pattern. And I started the shirt like months ago, and then I got frustrated because the sleeves wouldn't set in. So I did do a little work. I finished the collar band, and actually for my first collar, I think it came out okay. Although I will say the top stitching, I should have done the top stitching a little further away from the edge. But you live and learn. And I think the shirt's going to look okay. It's probably not going to be like my favorite shirt of all time. But if I can just finish this thing, I would be really happy with myself. So this is what I'm sewing this week, is Vogue 8772. And I did put my Handmade label in there. It's a little bit crooked, but that's okay. What else did I do to this? I did sew the sleeve, underarm sleeve together. So I'm hopefully going to be working on the cuff today. I did hem it. So I hemmed the shirt. And I discovered a cool way to do a narrow hem. So I've been struggling with the narrow hem, just with getting it pressed right, and my seams have been kind of wonky. So here's what I did that has been working pretty well. So I've been serging, so I serge the raw end of the seam that needs to be hemmed. So I serge it, and then I fold up. So say this was the serge part, I fold it up so that so that just the serge part is folded over, and then I fold it over again and use Elmer's washable school glue to glue it down. And actually that's been creating a very nice, fairly narrow hem. So I'm definitely going to keep doing that. I might do a video about that maybe, just showing what I'm doing. So I've been taping some videos this week, and hopefully we'll be, if I can get this shirt done by the end of the year, I think that would be an accomplishment. Maybe I'll put that in my, I'm also working on an end of the year video showing all the clothes that I made this year. And I'm a little scared though, because at some point, I don't really want to think about this, but at some point I'm going to have to do the buttonholes, which is something that kind of terrifies me, because I'm just worried about the buttonholes not being very straight. So that's something that I'm concerned about. So if you have any tips about buttonholes, again, please feel free to offer any sort of input or insight you have, because I'm sure myself and other people out there would definitely appreciate it. So yeah, this is Vogue 8772. I would have liked to make the bow tie neckline, but I didn't have enough fabric. So that's why this is just going to be your standard collared shirt. But I really like the pattern. I think I really like the fit on the Vogue patterns. It's not meant for women. They're not meant for women with super skinny waists. So it works for me because my waist is not super skinny. Oh, Linda, no, the Elmer's glue is not so the Elmer's glue I use to baste, and then I sew it down. So the hem is actually sewn, but I noticed by serging the ends of the hem, it just gave me a really good natural place to fold it. So it made, the hem is curved, so it made folding the hem a lot easier. I'll kind of try to show a close-up of this. So that's the hem. So yeah, I serged it, folded it over once, and then folded it over again, and it just created a nice hem for me. So I used Elmer's glue just to baste it, so it stayed in place and I didn't need pins. And then I sewed. I use Elmer's glue all the time. Elmer's just washable school glue, just the white glue. I use it all the time to baste seams. I learned that trick in a quilting class, and I have been taking advantage of it hardcore ever since. So I'm definitely a fan of doing that. JB says buttonholes always get me too. My machine is very temperamental when it comes to my buttonhole foot. And yeah, I've been trying to practice. The Janome is doing the best out of all the sewing machines I have. The Janome is definitely doing the best with the buttonholes. So I practiced a few times, and I'm definitely going to practice on some scraps of this fabric just so that I know what I'm doing. So I'm going to do a bunch of practice buttonholes before I do the real things. And then also, I'd gotten Pam Howard's classic tailored shirt class, and she, in the class, she actually had a very good way of sewing in the actual buttons. So I'm going to go back and reference that class when I sew the buttons in. I've never made a button shirt before, or a buttoned item really. I've cheated by using like cam snaps or, other things. So I don't know. Well, hopefully that will go okay. But anyways, if you, so this hour we are talking about handmade wardrobes. If you are also making your own handmade wardrobe, feel free to share your experiences. What do you like about it, and why do you make your own clothing? What is it about it that makes you want to do that rather than going to the mall and getting something from Old Navy like I used to do when 10 years ago. Did I use French seams or flat felt? For the seams in here, I kind of am doing a combination. I did do some French seams for certain parts of the shirt. Like I did a French seam and then I stitched that down. Oh, wait, I think I did actually do a flat felt seam for the shoulder seam. I think I did do so I think this is a flat felt seam. Some of the seams I'm just basically stitching it and then I'm serging the seam allowances. Just because I think it would be kind of trickier, and also I think it would add a lot of bulk to it. And I think I did do a flat felt seam for the inner seam, or maybe this is a French seam. I can't. So this is a French seam here. So I'm kind of doing a combination of all of them. Just pretty much whatever I feel like on that day, I'm doing that as the seam technique. So I don't know. And that's the thing about sewing. You can kind of do what you want. It's your item. And that's what I like about it. We got Pico Stitch. Hello from Philly. Hello. So yeah, what are you guys doing this weekend? Let me know what you're sewing. Also, if you have any comments. And I also linked, if you want to see all the clothes I've made so far, I have a playlist on the channel called Handmade Wardrobe. So you can see all of the videos I've done about things I've made this year clothing-wise. I've also taken some time out. I've done a lot of gifts this year, and that's the thing, like, again, I'm not in a place where I need new clothes, so anything I'm sewing right now is sort of like icing on the cake for my closet, but I really need to clean out my closet, and I do want to streamline. I think that's the thing I've realized, is that I want to streamline what I have and create, I know this is a bit of a buzzword, create more of a capsule wardrobe. So maybe I will share some of my experiences about creating more of a capsule wardrobe. Maybe I'll show you my closet if I can get the lights in there and stuff, and share about, I don't know, like what I own. I really want to find that Gap dress though, because that dress was awesome. And it's 20 years old. If I could still wear that, that'd be pretty cool. I think I've gained a little bit of weight since then, but I think I could maybe make it work still. I don't know. I mean, my size over the years, and to give you a bit of a history of my body type, obviously I'm Asian, and Asians, when they're younger, they're like super skinny. Like when I was a teenager, people thought I had like an eating disorder because I was only like 85 pounds. It's not the case anymore. So I've gone from going from like a size 0 to like a size probably 6 and ready to wear. So I've gone from a 0 to 6. At one point I was a size like 10, but then I lost some weight because I was like, you know what? I don't want to, for my health and, for my own personal self-esteem reasons, I didn't want to get to that point again. So I have taken some conscious steps to make sure I'm eating better, and also not in a place where I don't feel good about my body. All right, we've got so I am at work sneaking, but on vacation next week. Boston Fabric to make. What are you gonna make? Let me know. And so yeah, we're just hanging out. We're having some fun, and talking about making clothes. So yeah, I'm really surprised at how not easy this challenge was, but at how it's not nearly as difficult as it seems. So if you are thinking about just transitioning into not buying clothes, if you already have a closet full of clothes, it's really not going to be an issue for you. All right, JB says, currently working on McCall's M7624 for a bachelorette party. All right, that sounds like fun. Using a lined die-cut neoprene for texture and style. That sounds really cool. What colors is it? That sounds really awesome. All right, so I'm just going to get a drink real quick. I need to eat something soon. We've been eating a lot of pizza. And James has actually been growing his own microgreens or sprouts in the house. So we've been trying to incorporate that into our diet. We put it on some pizza last night and it was quite tasty. And apparently microgreens and sprouts are really good for you. Like the nutritional value is like way higher than like lettuce or any sort of green you typically put in a salad. And he's actually been growing these sprouts from like random stuff you could buy at the store. Like I didn't know you could grow sprouts from flax seeds, mustard seeds, lentils, and they're actually kind of tasty. I thought the lentil sprouts were quite good. So maybe I'll at some point try to embark on a vegan diet. I don't know. My husband did it a while back and he lost 20 pounds in a month, so it does work, and it also really is good for you. If you have like high cholesterol or if you're borderline diabetic, the vegan diet is really pretty intriguing. So I, at some point, would like to do something like that. Maybe not 100%, but I'd like to transition into definitely a healthier diet than I'm eating now. I just can't give it up yet. So we'll see. We've got Linda. She's going to make the Made for Mermaids Mama Ava tee. That sounds pretty cool. And okay, so her dress is going to be black. Woo, woo. Look at you, sexy lady. I mean, that you're going to be killing it at that bachelorette party. So hopefully you can, I wish you the best with that project. And definitely share some pictures on Instagram if you're there. And hashtag Sewing Report Squad, because I'd like to see you killing it in that black dress. Alice is working on Kendoza's top from Silhouette Patterns. Oh, and they have different cup sizes. And again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have tips on sewing in bra cups, like what you're supposed to do, please help. I have 4 sets of bra cups, and I'd like to incorporate them because I definitely need padding for certain reasons. So I would definitely be interested in incorporating, especially if you're making like a really special dress with straps that aren't bra friendly. I'd like to be able to insert bra cups. Like, so are you supposed to insert, like if you have a line dress, are you supposed to put the bra cups in between the layers or on top of the lining so it's directly next to your skin? Because I'm going to guess it's the latter. I'm going to guess you're supposed to put it next to your skin, but I'm not sure. So if you know, please feel free to weigh in. We've got Pico Stitch. You grow alfalfa, broccoli, and mung bean sprouts at home. They're great. Yes, and they taste pretty good. And if you put it in stuff, like it's cool. So James made some stir fry the other night with the lentil sprouts, and it was quite tasty. They kind of have a nutty taste. And I didn't realize you could grow sprouts from stuff you just get at the grocery store. So he literally just bought one of those, like, in the spice department, they've got mustard seeds. He literally took that, put it in a container with some water and paper towels, and now we have mustard seed sprouts. And the mustard seed sprouts actually have a little bit of a kick to them. So they were actually quite tasty. And in like Italian food, they just give it a little bit of zest or something. I don't know. Got Barbara. I have the 500 and love the cup sizing. I add length. Yes, I do. So my cup size is quite small. So I do appreciate any dress or top pattern that incorporates different cup sizes. Because then you don't have to do, hopefully that eliminates some bust adjustments that we have to do. I know, it's one of the pitfalls of being a female, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. Oh, and I have been using the, I know I've mentioned this before, but I have been using the cover stitch machine quite a bit this week. I filmed a video about some common stitches I use with it. And I gotta say, I really am a fan. So yes, sorry, this is my plug for the hour. Pink House Fabrics was generous and nice enough to let me borrow this Janome 1000 CPX Cover Pro cover stitch machine. If you are in the market for a Janome sewing machine of any type, definitely hit them up. The customer service is amazing, and they'll take good care of you. So please, please, check out my friends at Pink Castle Fabrics, Brenda and Jason. They're wonderful people. They really care about you, and they care about making you happy and getting you into a sewing machine that is right for you and your budget. So I've linked them below under the cover stitch machine. I'm loving the cover stitch machine. I did not know I needed that machine, but now that I've got one, I kind of don't want to give it back. So we'll see. Maybe I'm not sure if I'm gonna buy it from them yet or send it back. But I really am enjoying having a cover stitch machine for hemming. In fact, I made James a t-shirt a couple years ago, and I tried using the twin needle with it, but like the stitching just kind of ripped out. So I might try to re-hem that for him so that he can actually wear it. So we'll see. I've also got an order coming. I placed my first order from Fashion Fabrics Club, which was a website that was recommended to me from my friend Emily Hallman. And I'm going to be doing sort of, I think it was Linda was it you that recommended that I do like a review of an online fabric company, but compare like what you see online to what you actually get. I'm going to do that with Fashion Fabrics Club. So that's going to be a future video for sure. And yeah, so I'm excited. I've got some things coming up later this month. I'm going to a YouTube Creator Day here in Atlanta. So afterwards, I'm going to bring you the scoop, and hopefully I'm going to be doing some vlogging there. Because obviously, since it's a vlogging, type event, I'm sure everyone there is going to have like a selfie stick and a camera. So hopefully maybe I'll make a fun video about that. And this upcoming week, the video is going to be a project I've been working on for a while that I'm pretty excited about. And has to do with paper piecing. So this is actually a quilt I made. And this is probably one of the fastest quilts I've done. I made this quilt within a few weeks, which for me is super fast. So I'm pretty excited about that. But so yeah, I've been doing that and hanging out. I was on vacation this week, so I got a bunch of filming done. And I did a lot of I've done so much editing this week. You would not believe it. And I'm really excited. So I don't know if anyone else here watches Game of Thrones. I did not watch leaked episode 4. But I'm pretty excited about the rest of the season. I think season 7 so far the storyline is actually really exciting. So I'm interested to see where this thing goes. And the whole Jon Snow meeting Daenerys Targaryen was like the highlight of the whole show for me. Like out of all the episodes, I think the fact I really like the combination of Daenerys, Jon, and Tyrion Lannister all being together in one place. I love their chemistry, and I think all 3 of them are just excellent actors, and I'm looking forward to seeing more. Any scene with Tyrion Lannister is a winner in my book. That guy, Peter Dinklage, is just, he's so good. So in any other, but yeah, him and Jon Snow are quite interesting together, but the 3 of them, I think, is just kind of a magical combination. So and for those of you who don't watch Game of Thrones, it is not a very family-friendly show. So if you have kids or if you're under 18, that probably isn't for you. But it is on HBO on Sunday nights, and I'm actually rewatching some of the episodes because with those like really big epic shows or movies, I tend to get lost in some of the plot details. So it takes me a couple times of watching the episode to really get it. I also, when there's a big ensemble cast, I tend to get the characters confused too. I'm like, who is that again? And then I like don't really remember who they are, especially if the characters kind of look alike. So I'm rewatching the show from the beginning, and I'm currently on season 2, but I am watching the new episodes just to catch up. So, and I was thinking about maybe trying to do some sort of Game of Thrones inspired sewing project. I don't know what that would be, but I'm kind of interested in doing something along those lines. I don't know, more pop culture-y stuff. So yeah. All right, we've got Kenya would like to start sewing. What should be my first project? Kenya, stick to simple. I've got a couple other videos where I talk about like what to do when you first get started sewing. I would not start with clothes. I would start with items like napkins, placemats, coasters, real simple bags. Because garment sewing is a little bit more complicated because you're working with you're working in a 3-dimensional form versus like a 2D thing like quilting or, things like placemats or napkins. So I would definitely recommend do a project that's more of a confidence builder. Like, again, take some scrap fabrics and try to make napkins. And again, those are also things you can give as gifts. So it's both a learning experience and it's something tangible that you can have and do something useful with. So I would definitely do like home decor items. Also, another easy project would be like a pillow cover. Those are very simple. A pillow cover with an envelope closure so that there's no zippers with it. Because I find if you try projects that are like really above your head for now, you're going to get frustrated with it and then you're not going to want to keep sewing. So that's why I think it's good to kind of build your skill level with different projects. And like with each project you do, maybe that can incorporate a new technique you don't know. Like inserting a zipper or doing an invisible zipper or adding like piping. But for your first few projects, and if anyone else has any recommendations for Kenya, feel free to chime in on easy projects for a beginner, for someone who's just starting out sewing, beginner seamstress. I personally think real simple things, again, napkins, placemats, pillow covers, easy things. Also, baby blankets are good because, again, that's a lot of sewing projects too. I was thinking about it. They all have the same basic concept. Like with certain napkins, pillow cover, or with certain napkins, placemats, and blankets. Basically, it's like putting fabric right sides together, sewing around the edge, leaving an opening, turning it, and then top stitching. That's actually a concept that's a part of a lot of sewing projects. So, and that's something where big or small, it's kind of the same. So, I think definitely. My first real project was a baby blanket. That I got from a Jenny Doan tutorial. But again, I think things like that are great because it's something that you can gift. They're easy gifts, so you can maybe try to make your own Christmas gifts this year, make your own holiday gifts, and use those because it's also a lot of repetition. So say you're making a set of 4 placemats. You got 4 placemats to kind of try to hone your skills and get it down. Other good ones are coasters. Make a set of coasters. You could also do like very simple like drawstring bags, or I'm trying to think of another thing. Also fabric baskets, like a lined fabric basket that also has the same kind of concept, zipper pouches. So definitely do things that are simple in construction and then work your way up from there. And again, everyone else here, feel free to also weigh in with what you think. Because I'd love to know what you think. That's a good question. Feel free to chime in. What would be a good beginner project for Kenya, if there's one I haven't mentioned already? We've got a couple more comments. I saw a Dolman style shirt, and I just keep watching videos. Okay, aprons. Alice's aprons. That's a good one, too. And I watch over and over, and then eventually it really comes to you. I read books. Okay, another good tip. Got a comment of Game of Thrones. I get my husband to fast forward through certain scenes, but would love to sew a Game of Thrones costume and possibly a Game of Thrones themed feast. Now, JB, what kind of would this be, like play food or something, or like? I'm curious because I think there would be, and I saw a couple I was looking on Pinterest, and a lot of people have done Daenerys Targaryen costumes. Again, the costumes on the show can be a little bit risque. So some of them aren't quite up my alley. Oh, and I also discovered the woman who does all of the intricate, insane embroidery on the show has a blog. I forgot what the name of it was, but I was on it the other day, and the handwork involved in the costumes are amazing. Like, the costumes on the show are, like, out of this world. Like, the costumes, like, if I tried to make one of those costumes, it would take me, like, 10 years to make. Because the hand embroidery on it is so intricate and so incredible. But on her blog, she's got a lot of close-up pictures of some of the embroidery. And I was impressed by, like, the work that goes into it is crazy. But also, all of the embroidery tells a story. So, like, Sansa's wedding gown when she's marrying Tyrion Lannister, it's got, like, lions on it to represent that she's a part of the Lannisters now. But it's also supposed to, like, trap her. Like, all of the costumes are so thought out. I didn't realize how much... I just didn't realize how much of a story that the costumes were playing in the show. But I'm very impressed by the costumes. Yeah, the show is definitely not, yeah, there's, the earlier seasons were worse. I feel like the show is definitely getting slightly less cringy at some moments. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, the sex scenes they're weird. Like, they're weird. There's also some storylines that involve incest, which, again, is kind of makes you a little bit uncomfortable. Although I realize that's part of history, like in a lot of European history, that was part of what royal families did to preserve the bloodline. So I get that there's some parts of the show that are actually taken from real history, but it's, regardless, you just kind of feel like you're like, oh, okay. And we've got a Pico Stitch. Okay, we're okay. Renaissance food. Okay, that would be pretty cool. But yeah, I would love to, and you know what? I would love to make something dragon themed. I think that would be kind of awesome. Like, maybe make a stuffed dragon, or like a pillow with like a Game of Thrones dragon on it. I don't know, something like that. But I need to look up on Pinterest, because I would love to make a stuffed dragon. That'd be pretty cool. I did see there was a lady on Etsy a few years ago. She made that thing from the Never-Ending Story, like that white creature. I don't know what it's called. But that was pretty awesome. And then she started selling the patterns. Pico Stitch, for an easy sewing project, recommends a rectangle gathered skirt with an elastic casing waist. So Kenya, there's so many things you can do. And if you're looking for cheap fabric, use stuff you already have around your house as scrap fabric. Like if you got clothes that have stains on it or something, just use that to practice on. If you got old sheets, use those to practice on. And also check out your fabric stores and look in the remnant section, because you can get some really cheap fabric for you to kind of use and abuse, and it won't be too difficult. All right, JB, leatherwork would be a good challenge. That would be good, and there are a lot of really cool leather garments on the show. And I was even just noticing Tyrion Lannister in the earlier seasons, he's got that like real cool like jacket vest thing with the embroidery on it. I also love the Winterfell outfits with like the huge fur capes and stuff. Like there's just so many cool costumes on that show. That is one reason to watch the show if you really appreciate amazing costuming. That show just is, I don't know how much money they spend on costumes. It must be astronomical, because that lady who does the embroidery work, I mean, she's highly trained and skilled, and I don't even know how much that stuff costs, but it must be crazy. All right, we've got, Dollar Tree shirts. That's a good way to get some cheap fabric. But yeah, I go to Target and I look in the clearance section and get cheap sheets. You know what? There's a Walmart sheet that I bought a while ago that I forgot about that I should definitely try to use for something. Because I just totally forgot I had it. But that'd be cool. I've made some dresses from sheets. But yeah, I've gotten way off topic. I know. But yeah, I'm really excited for tonight's episode of Game of Thrones. I want to see the three people I want to see the most are Daenerys, Jon, and Tyrion all together. The three of them are just amazing. I was just very excited to see the meeting last week, and also that Jon and Daenerys really didn't get along. I thought that was pretty interesting. But if you've been watching the show, I want to ask you this: how do you think the show is gonna end? Like, at the end of all of this, because there's only one more season left, what do you think is going to happen at the end? Will there be anyone sitting on the Iron Throne? If so, who? And also, what characters do you think are going to be killed off? Because I think that's another thing that intrigues me. Because I feel like the writing on the show and the plot lines are very interesting. So, but yeah, some of the things about the show I don't like the cringy sex scenes. Also, there's some like storylines about rape and incest, and those are, I don't know. Those are things I could do without, but you know, it is what it is. JB says costume design is what got me into sewing and helped me pick my major in college. Apparel design, that is awesome. So JB, if you design costumes, you could certainly do without buying clothes. I'm sure you can do it. Jon Snow and Dany should get married. I would totally agree. I think they should definitely get married, especially, although I don't know if you've read all the theories about well, I guess we already know Jon's real heritage, Yeah, they are kind of related. That is a little weird, you know, it's a little weird. Um, I Google shops in your area. I found a place that has really nice fabric and frugal, good quality. So yeah, so anyways, I know we've gotten a little bit off topic, but anyways, yeah, so the handmade wardrobe project, yeah, it's going really well. And I'm definitely going to continue doing it and yeah, see where it takes me. So I'll keep doing updates on it. And I'm not sure this for the fall and the winter. There's only probably a few things I'm going to make. I might try to make a pair of pants, obviously since it's going to be getting a little cooler out. And I'd like to make some warmer knit dresses. I've got a pattern. I think it's Vogue 8825. I think that's the number. That is a knit dress that I'm excited about. I think it's going to be really cute, and I might, maybe if I like it, I'll make more than one. I'd also like to do some more long sleeve collared shirts. And the fabric I ordered from Fashion Fabrics Club is very fall wintry, so it's a little bit more warmer stuff. I do have some lining fabrics. I'd like to start getting into some more higher end stuff with all of those patterns I've got, all those sewing patterns I got that I don't have time for. Hopefully I can get to some of them. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me. Yes, and if you are a Game of Thrones fan, let me know in the comments, how do you think the show is gonna end? Like, what is gonna happen? I don't know. I just feel like there's so much going on. But I actually really like the later seasons compared to the earlier seasons. I think the more recent seasons are definitely have more interesting plot twists to me, and again, less cringy scenes that I don't really want to watch. I also kind of wonder what's going to happen to Sansa Stark. Like she, for being in the beginning of the show, for being as optimistic and like romantic, she hasn't really had very good luck with the dudes. So I kind of wonder, are they going to give her like kind of a happy ending, or is she just kind of doomed in the love department forever? I'm just sort of curious to see what they do with her character, because she's just had some really monstrous guys in her life, and Sansa don't need that. She just doesn't need that. I've got read a couple more comments about finding cheap fabric, local Goodwill for cotton, sheets, and t-shirts. Oh, that's a good one. I bought a sheet for making a muslin, paid $1.99 for a queen size. Barbara, that is a bargain. And then, oh, drop cloths. That's actually another good tip. So, Kenya, if you're looking for cheap fabric, that's where it's at. If anyone else wants to chime in or have any questions about making your own clothes or Game of Thrones related or my new haircut, let me know. Otherwise, I might sign off soon. Okay, oh, Joanne's broadcloth, $1.99. That's another good one. But I'm going to try to sign off because I'm going to try to get some more... We're going to try to get some more sewing done today while it's still light outside, and see how far I could get. Maybe by next week, this shirt will be done. And if you have any topics you'd like me to discuss on the show, also let me know in the comments, because I'm looking for your input on what we talk about. What do you like talking about? And also what kind of things do you want to have a forum like this with other people there that you want to ask questions or maybe discuss on a bigger level, because that's what we want to do. We want this is a conversation, and I want it to be a place where we can learn from each other and also get some encouragement and support, because that's what this is all about. We need each other. So anyways, I hope you guys are having a great weekend. I'm going to go hopefully sew soon, and I'm going to leave you with the new sewing report. Okay, if I can get this thing to work, I don't know. I'll leave you with this, and I'll see you guys all later.